To remove and install the rear upper control arm on your Polaris XPEDITION XP or ADV, follow these steps.
Park the vehicle on a flat level surface. Ensure it is in park and remove the key. Next, remove the wheel from the vehicle. Begin by loosening the lug nuts while the vehicle is on the ground, but do not remove at this time. Then, safely elevate the vehicle. Reference your owner's manual for proper lifting techniques. Once safely elevated, remove the lug nuts and set aside. Then, remove the wheel and set aside. Next, remove the upper shock fastener, discard the fastener and nut. Then, remove the lower shock fastener, washer, and nut. Next, pivot the shock towards the wheel hub while moving the top of the shock towards the passenger side of the vehicle. Then, move the bottom of the shock towards the center of the vehicle, and pivot the top of the shock out of the wheel well. Next, remove the silencer mounting fasteners on the exhaust. Then, move the silencer toward the driver's side of the vehicle to disengage it from the isolators, and remove from the vehicle. Next, remove the upper bearing carrier fastener, washer, and nut. Then, remove and discard the upper control arm fastener and nut. Continue by removing the arm from the vehicle. If reusing the control arm, thoroughly clean with a shop rag before reinstalling. Then, inspect the control arm bushings and pivot tube for wear or damage and replace as needed. When reinstalling the bushings, ensure the tapered side is inserted into the arm. Also, ensure the control arm bushings are fully inside the arm before installing the pivot seals. Also, inspect the bearing carrier bushings and pivot tube for wear or damage and replace as necessary. When reinstalling the bushings, ensure the tapered side is inserted into the carrier. Also, ensure the bushings are fully inside the carrier before installing the pivot seals. Next, align the upper control arm with the mounting holes. And install new fasteners from the rear. Secure with the retained washers and new nuts. Then, align the arm with the bearing carrier and install a new fastener. Secure with the retained washer and a new nut. Next, inspect the silencer gasket for any wear or damage and replace if necessary. Then, align the silencer with the isolators and slide the silencer towards the exhaust. Continue by reinstalling the silencer fasteners from the passenger side and torque to specification. Next, insert the shock rod into the lower control arm and pivot the top of the shock into the upper mount. Then, align the lower shock with the mounting hole and install a new fastener from the rear of the vehicle. Secure with the retained washer and a new nut. Continue by installing a new upper shock fastener with the retained washer from the front of the vehicle, and secure with a new nut. Next, torque the control arm fastener to specification. Then, torque the bearing carrier fastener to specification. Continue by torquing the upper and lower shock fasteners to specification. Next, install the wheel on the vehicle and tighten the lug nuts until fully seated. Once installed, safely lower the vehicle until the tires begin to touch the ground. This will help keep the wheel in place when torquing. Once lowered, torque the lug nuts to specification in a crisscross pattern. Finally, lower the vehicle completely. For more information, see your authorized Polaris dealer or visit Polaris.com.